Market Traders TV. Learn, make money, be happy.
What do you guys say we break down some charts? I'm sure Soit's got some tickers for me. All right, boys, let's have a look at the old markets. Oh, yeah, Soit, I'll get to you in a second. Yes, here first. It's like that short was nullified. I know a lot of people were talking about shorts right here. It is definitely a valid setup, but you need to know how much you can get out of these shorts, right? If you did like taking a play on a short for and holding anything for an extended period of time is that's a losing pattern in my mind. You need to be when you're taking shorts in these markets, you need to be taking PTs pretty aggressively, in my opinion. So next spot on the ES, honestly, that I'm looking at, I already have it marked on the chart here. It's right here, this area. Pretty key. It's like they tested this area that I had marked out, these circles. So it looks like new highs from here. And I really doubt that they this is the top, but I would guess like in the next couple months we're gonna get up to here. They'll have longs from right here. 4 contracts still. THOP has moved up to this right here. This is a pretty good entry, man. Right here too. Like look at these plays, man. Get this gain over top of that. That's pretty textbook stuff, man. That's why so many people bought this when you see these giant moves like that. Pretty awesome. Yeah, it was a beauty for sure. And I mean, even down here was worth taking shots at, man. Because like you had this right here too, right? You had this and this. So anything down here would have been worth taking shots at. Even right here, man. Really, I would have took a shot. I probably would have took a shot if I was day trading it, or I was looking for like an entry. Pretty nice price action. And then it's all bouncing off of like a nice relative move that made this swing. You know what I mean? So like there's a lot of price action here, right? Things that you guys should be looking at, is moves that create swings and things that are important, right? Like these things I have circled here. This right here is a move that created that all-time high. This is a move that created this low. So like there's going to be a lot of price action in there for it to bounce off of. Move that creates, yeah, yeah, exactly. That's they're good entry points, right? They're definitely good entry points. The price action on the ES has been like pretty easy, man, lately. Like this is the first thing I had circled when we were up here. So like this is what I was saying that we should be looking at. And then it bounced there almost perfectly, And then today's action was just like if you missed it, like you could have got long no problem today. Yeah, really moving really, just pretty basic stuff. So in the again longer term stuff, I really think that we're looking up here. I'm on a December contract on my trade, so I'm going to be looking at once we get into the beginning of December, I'll start looking for exits. Like I'll just wait until we get a 4 hour a loss on a 4 hour, and then I might even take a couple PTs on once we get up if we get up into this area, and then I'll look at to exit the whole position if we lose a 4 hour once we're in the beginning of December on a retest is where I'll exit. Kind of like here. So like if this price action this 4 hour swing here If we lost this, I would have exited on a retest, on any kind of retest back up. Yeah, that's why this thing dumped like this, because we lost a pretty serious level here, or a 4 hour serious level. Would be really nice if we that would really make my year if we go up here, man. It would be the biggest trade I've ever done. Where am I in from? I'm in from 50. Be a 500 point ES trade. 550 points or 600 point ES trade. I'll take it. Let's have a look at NQ. We're at the zone for shorts, but I just don't. I just don't short these markets. Not really, not that much anyway. Maybe for scalps, but it's kind of where I'm looking for NQ. 17, 17-ish. This area could still play though. What day is it today? Tuesday? Jeez, it's only Tuesday. Buy it up into the end of the week, hopefully. Yeah, really not too much to do if you're not in trade already. The times for serious traders, man, was for serious traders, it's down here, right? That's when you should be looking at serious longs. Anything else is like just you missed the trade and you're trying to get in. But these guys gave a perfect entry down here too, right? This is on the daily, so you do your entries on the lower stuff, but somewhere in here there would have been a good entry. Yeah, I'll look at any charts you guys want to just after we do the majors here. What swing did we lose on the NQ? Is that what you're talking about? Well, nothing. 15. Oh, right here. Yeah, so this is this is a serious swing to lose, right? And this is the entry for the short. But you need to take it into relative context, right? Like look at this market. We're in a massive bull market for 130 years. So definitely, there will be shorts to be to take, but it's you need to take it in stride and like make sure that you know how much it's worth. And you need to anytime I take shorts at this point, like my PTs are so fast and furious because you're most likely it's not gonna continue lower. Like holding for a big short that's a losing game. It's a losing fucking mentality. Like yeah, I understand that this went pretty low and it washed up this whole range, but then we gained. So as soon as you gain, you need to be back on the side of the bulls, right? The second you gained a daily, and could it have went lower? Sure, it could have, but the it's more likely that it's gonna continue higher. You know, the reason I say that is because of this. So we'll see what happens. They are kind of setting up a short right now. I really just think that this is going to go higher though. Let me just look on the weekly here. If we do start sliding, I would be looking at this area down here that I have outlined for the more longer term play. That's where I'll be looking at just they'll be looking for entries there. Not saying I'm just be buying that area. It's a pretty wide area, but I won't be doing it on the NQ. I'll be doing it on the ES. So this one's a little bit more tricky, man. Do not like the Russell. They did set up a perfect short though. So we lost this daily, right? We had a daily close below. So this was the perfect short on the daily move that made the high. So if you're not in a short, then there's no need to be looking for shorts now. That was the short. This will be big accumulation zone down here, I think. If we start losing it. Look at the 15-minute. What happened today? So they had just held this bottom range, kind of range bound. Probably some kind of a reaction up here. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'll look at it next after I do Bitcoin. I'd be looking at that. But again, like the short has already been done like this, so they can gain at this point because they held this, right? So maybe a scalp there, but that's about it. It looks like they're trying to turn this around now, right? Like they're holding it. They made a higher low. Now they gained over top of this, so they're trying to turn this around. We'll see what happens there. BTC, USDT. So Bitcoin's seeing a little bit of a slide. So like this lower area better for Bitcoin. Now it looks like if we lose this range here, it's a pretty important area, right, that we're at. They're holding that. So if they lose that, then we're most likely coming to here, the low 50s. If they hold that, we're most likely going up here to the high 70s, low 80s. I'm pretty heavily short right now. I have a crypto bot, so I'm short on like 50 products. I still hold Bitcoin. I have Bitcoin just that I hold that I never get rid of. Did make new highs here, right? So I am just expecting this higher. Even if we do get a pullback, I'm still expecting it higher. Let's see. I bet if we get a pullback to the low 50s, it'll be pretty quick. It'll be like just like one day. At a pretty key area. See if they hold it. Yeah, this is where I have outlined. I doubt we get that low, but I would think that somewhere around here, for around 50, 51, 52, something like that. Maybe 53. All right, let's just look at the Dixie. Look at the Dixie and look at the VIX, and then I'll look at your charts, boys. Oh wow, Dixie just pumping, eh? Man, it really sucks, man. Like I was looking for this Dixie trade and I didn't get it. I was shooting for longs here, and I got stopped out of. I just kept getting stopped out. Things are looking good for Dixie now, though. I would expect we're going to test the top again, this circle up here. A lot of price action around here. Yeah, I would expect we're going to test that, or somewhere up there, somewhere in this circle. Yeah, not too much to say on this one. Like the time to be getting long was here, and after I got stopped out and missed it, I kind of just fucking left the Dixie, and I never haven't traded forex since. So somebody wanted USD JPY. Kind of it's all gonna be relative to the Dixie. So I would expect this to go high too, right? Like I would expect this to come and test this up here again. Little spot here. 120. Just look at the weekly here for a sec. There's going to be something before that, right? Like there's going to be, we're coming into a spot where it's kind of important. Couple areas to be watching. Clear all that. So it's going to be this probably that you're going to be looking at. But I know, even that, like I really think that we're just going to come back up and test this stuff up here. This line, somewhere around this line that I put 120. Depends how you're trading it. Like if you're on a contract that you need to exit, you need to you'll need to look for an exit earlier, maybe around 115. But if you're in a position where you can just hold it, then I would be looking more at like 120 area. All right, let's look at some of these charts for the boys. QSR. It looks like good. It looks like pretty good. I would have definitely been looking at this gap fill here. Pretty decent stop right here. Would have been where the stop was. At this point, I would already have the stop moved up to here. 71. Was that the gap fill? Yeah, 71 was the gap fill. I would have had it at around 71 too, yeah. But like I said, at this point, I would already have the stop moved up. I would already have it moved up to here because they didn't get over this. So take it all with a grain of salt because they could easily lose this level and test something lower. Would have been a pretty good first PT too, right here. Looking at this right here, that's where I would have taken a PT. Yeah, this looks decent though. Looks good. I would definitely be holding some for back up here. I would have taken one PT, move the stop up, and then the rest I would honestly just be holding for hopefully back up here somewhere. And maybe even higher. Who knows? Fuck man, can you imagine you bought this on the Corona dip? Jesus Christ. Imagine you bought anything on the Corona dip. Decent entry. Really good entry on this one, I think. I like it. All right, let's look at some of Soit's stocks here. CHGG. Oh, wow. Definitely in the area. I don't mind it. Worth a shot anyway. This is a good one. If it does go again, it'll be 20. It'll be like 80% gain. I mean, even if you just get up to $34, I'd be looking to take a PT pretty quick on this bad boy, somewhere like there. Even that 17%, 16%, that's pretty good. Not bad. Not a bad one. Expect nothing less from you, Soit. Yeah. This lines up with this too. Kind of another area is just right here. I would honestly be looking to take probably another one off there. If it does start going again. Huge gap though. Wow. What was that move? About 50% in a day. They probably set up a short nicely on this one too, I bet. Yeah, this one was half decent short right here. Once we lost that. Yeah, once we lost that. Then on a retest. That's where the short would have been. A chance for re-add here. Decent chart, so wait, let's check out what else you have. T. Nice easy ticker. AT&T. Ooh, this doesn't look the greatest. Yeah, I already had this kind of marked out. This is the area for them to hold. I wouldn't give it much more past this. This is the monthly previous. You'd really want this to hold though. Yeah, you wouldn't want it much below 20, 24, 23, 23, 2370. To the upside, if you're in it, I'd definitely be taking a small piece off here. Maybe even before that, maybe off this. Not too much, but and then I'd keep some serious runners for this area. Kind of how I see it. Decent, but this is spooky because you're losing. Like we've lost some serious fucking levels here, man. We've lost, big monthly swings. So they could honestly come and retest this kind of stuff down here. Something on a lower time frame down there. But it's a decent good place as any to hold. And you got a real tight stop, so you can't really ask for much more than that. Z. Zillow Group. So this also coming into the a monthly swing. This is the area for them to hold this, right? Like you don't want them below that, and you don't want them below this right here. This move that made the low. So I'll just put a line right here as the absolute lowest that you want them to go. That's on the monthly too. This is dead. I wouldn't give them much more below this. This is where I'd have a stop. If you're looking on like a longer time frame, I know this is kind of a wide stop, but that's where I would have that. I trade stocks so that like I usually wait for a gain for a major position. But I'll take stabs at stuff like this, catching a knife, but only with like a quarter of the normal position, something like that. Because a lot of times it just doesn't work out, you know. So it's you just gotta. And then so like if I get into like let's say I wanted to get into this one, I'd be looking in this area for. So let's say I even wanted to start buying right here. I just wanted to buy this whole area. So I'd buy this whole area with 25% of the position, and then let's say we went down like this, and then we gained. Here's where I get the rest of the position in. That's kind of it's the best way to do it, and like you can't be taking full positions on catching a fucking knife out of the sky. You know what I mean? Like it's just that a lot of times, sometimes with momentum too, it'll push past your stop and then go in the direction that you want. Like if it's really selling off, it'll take out the stops. You know what I mean? And then go. So it's fine to be taking chances. It's just it's you need to be doing it with a relatively smaller amount. You can't be doing. You shouldn't. I mean, do what you want, but that's just the way I do it. So as far as this one, yeah, like I said, if I wanted to get into this, I'd probably buy this whole area with 25% of the position, and then on a bounce, I'd look into get into the rest and move the stop up. A couple spots to the upside to look at here. I'll be looking at that. And then if we do gain over the top of this, I'd be looking at much higher. But I would be taking a pretty hefty chunk off there. If we gain this, I'd honestly be looking at new highs again. What else you got here, Soy? PLTR. I traded this one before. Worth a shot, but I don't like how it lost these. I don't like how it lost this area here. But this is the area for them to hold this for higher. You don't want them below this. Look at that. This is sick. Like that's sickening. Just the weekly move that made the high like to the dollar almost. Oh, dividends are crazy, auntie. Yeah, I don't even pay attention to that stuff at all. All right, let's look at the daily here. So, getting the previous high here. Kind of a wide stop. Like I'd want my stop underneath this. So half decent spot. I guess you could have your stop here, but would honestly want my stop underneath this. This is where I'd take a PT in that area anyway. And then we get above this, I'd be looking at new highs. This scares me though, but could go. Box moves so slow, man. Kind of the areas that I'd be looking at. Half decent spot. I would definitely put the, like I said, stop under here. Or if you wanted to get it a little tighter, you could have the stop underneath here. What else you got? Space. I already kind of looked at this one before. Ooh, they're selling it off more, eh? Yeah, this one I really don't like, man. because like we made a lower high here, and then they're making. Do we watch it a monthly? Yeah, we had a monthly close below. So I'd probably just not trade this, because there's potential for this. So it was a pretty good gap close here, though, I think. Yeah, they closed this little gap here, but we did gain too on the daily. But honestly, I just don't like the higher time frame stuff. So like I probably would just look for something else. AAOI. I probably wouldn't trade this either. This looks like trash. I don't know. This isn't. These aren't kind of something that I look to trade. It's just me. Not saying that you can't make money doing it, but we are at a spot. But did we close above that? Yeah, we did have some daily closes up there. It's at a good spot for them to hold, but I wouldn't give it much more into that. Obviously, the where stop at very lowest there, very least, I would say. And then honestly, be taking PTs. I probably would have taken one already, depending on where I got in. Like on something like this, I would be taking the majority of the trade out in this area, and just keep a little runner just in case. Couple spots though to look at to the upside. Probably take one at the bottom of this range. Like I said, it's kind of already been tagged. And then I'd probably take another one. Just have a look and see if this was created. Kind of did that already. So maybe just the gap fill. Probably this actually. Couple spots that I'd be looking to peel off like serious amount of the position. All right. And what else we got here? Zip. Not really much to look at here. We're at all-time high. So as a trader, this is pointless to look at this, right? Like maybe if we were down here, we could talk about it. Once he gained this stuff, then we could that's when you want to start looking for entries on a retest of it, right? Like here, or anything retesting this area. But to talk about it now, it's a waste of time, right? This would have been a good entry. Pretty much picture perfect. Previous high or previous low. If you're looking for PTs on it, I would have already taken some, depending on where you got in, but I'd be taking some off up here in this area and reloading when if they keep this trajectory going. VIAC. So right at the monthly swing, right at this move that made the low. Pretty important area to hold on this one. I like it. I like this for. Man, look at this. Look at these moves. Holy shit. I like this for a punt. Basically right here, right now. I'd have my stop probably a little lower than what you guys would have it. I'd have my stop here. I'd have my stop there. And if they fail that, you're looking at a little bit lower. And if they start gaining out of here, a couple areas to be looking at is going to be this right here. Let me just look at the monthly here real quick. Those are really the areas I'd be looking at. You really don't want it to get too much below 32 though. Is PayPal a good buy? I don't know. Is this it? Looks like Mike has a position on it. Or he's got he's got an order. I don't like where he put his stop. I would have had my stop a little bit lower. He kind of just missed it. I probably would have been in this position if I was trading this already. Like I would have been, I would have got in at the top of the zone. I'm a little bit looser on all my trading, man. At this point, I like to be in the position. Like I would have been in at the top of this zone, and I probably would have had my stop down here, or I underneath this at least. Forgot we're on a weekly chart here. Yeah, my stop would be at 175, and my entry would be at 204, 205, maybe a little bit lower. I see where he's putting it. He's doing it on the daily move that made the low here. CTRA, sure. Thing has quite a bit of room to slide. I do like it for a turnaround play though on the bigger time frame. So one to be looking at to pick up if we get a retest for higher, you know. But I think the move has just been done already, man, on the weekly here. You know. So looking at, we're in this down move, and then we have a weekly close above. First we close above this, then we close above this. So on a retest of this swing is going to be where the entry was, or even on a retest of this move that made this low. So right here, it's almost like they almost did it perfectly. It's got a magnet on it. Pretty sick, right? Was the initial one was right here. So like the next play on this would be, for me, would be right here. Or like you could look at a couple spots. Like this will be an area. This will be an area, and this will be an area. So those would be what I would be looking at to pick it up, to retest this stuff up here, and possibly up here. But I'd be looking for this to slide a little bit more. I mean, they already did this top one, so the only play here for me would be this bottom one. I wouldn't even be looking at this top one. It would only be looking at this bottom one in this area, if they get it. I mean, if you're in this, you should have took some PTs over the last little while. I would have been like over 50% out of the position already, and the rest of it I would just be holding for all-time high or stop out. Cool. I think that's going to be it for me for today, boys. Unless you guys have any last-minute charts here you want me to look at. J Mia, looking kind of spooky, right? It's the African Amazon. That's great, man. It's the African Amazon. It's so good. I mean, if you wanted to take a punt in this area, it's not the worst. It's not the worst idea ever. I wouldn't have this. I'd have the stop here. I'd probably wait for some kind of strength though first, man. Pretty big nosedive. Like I'd wait for some kind of strength. And if you are going to get into, if you're going to get in, the thing with these ones that are worth the punt, it's worth the punt, but you need to take these with smaller positions, man. Like you can't be taking this with a full position. It's just a better way to do it. So like you want to buy this area, but you want to buy it with like a 25% of what a normal position for you is. I don't really play options that much, but this would be the area to buy for, but with 25% of your position. And then once you get over top of this on a retest, that's when you add in the full position for the potential move to the top again. So not saying don't trade it. I'm just saying like when you trade these you're trying to catch a knife out of the sky like that. You know, it's a lot better to do it with just like a tester position first. Then that gives you a little bit of room too, right? Because if you catch it, you get a really good entry, and then on your full ad position, you're just averaging up, so you're gonna end up being able to have a little bit wider stop. Cool. All right, man. I think I'm gonna leave that with you guys then for today. You guys trade safe. I think I'm gonna start up a Twitter, so I can start tweeting out when I'm live for people to come. Might be good. Get some more folks in here. How's the ES going? Let's go, boys. Let's go. Let's have a happy all-time high week. Position's just real deep into profit at this point. Good to go. All right, man. You guys take care. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for watching and learning with Market Traders TV.